There's a lot happening. AOC has finally responded to our push here at the Jimmy Dore Show for her and the squad to hold their vote from Nancy Pelosi for Speaker until she agrees to bring Medicare for All for a vote in the middle of a deadly pandemic. It seems like the bare minimum. She has responded through a surrogate, Justin Jackson, who's the running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. And he's a fan of the show. He's a fan of this idea. So he pushed it, and she responded to him. And I don't know if you saw what happened on Twitter, but it was ridiculous. And the headline for this video is going to be NFL football player schools AOC on how government works. It was amazing to watch. So just so you know, the momentum has built. So she had to. So that's the whole point. We've been trying to build momentum and pressure. So that's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to pressure people. You're supposed to pressure the politicians you have the most influence on. And that's what we're doing here at the Jimmy Dore Show. And other people are catching on that that's what actually you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pressure politicians instead of defend them. People are starting to catch on. A lot of support for this idea. Katie Halper says there's absolutely no justification, moral, ethical, political, strategic, or tactical for not doing this. I get that people don't want to push the politicians with respect, but they need us to. That's why FDR said, now make me do it. Even if they don't say it, that's how it works. That's exactly right. Here's another one. Guys, it's time to suck it up and get as angry, as outraged as Jimmy Dore is. I don't care if you think he's mean to Bernie or AOC or said something at some point you didn't like. He's telling the truth, and we need to hear it. We need to face reality so we can act. Hey, I'm sorry if I'm not nice enough to your sacred cows, but I think the richest nation in the world not having health care is kind of worth my outrage. I'm on Team Jimmy Dore now. We should make the squad and all progressives as uncomfortable as possible. They're supposed to be representing us. You know, we're told that we have a representative government, but we don't. You know that. So the people who we elected to change that, it's time for action. Crystal Ball's on board. Crystal Ball from Rising. Always a pleasure to have you on. She had me on her show so I could help push this message. And I tweeted out thanking her, and she said, always pleasure to have you on, Jimmy, and you are 100% right on. Look at that. Lefty Susan Sarandon is on. Biden supporter Susan Sarandon. I don't know if you saw the video she did urging people to vote for Biden. I did. There he is. Look at even her. Here's Bernie Sanders' former press secretary, Brianna Joy. She says whether a progressive minority can have influence, say, by withholding their vote for Pelosi as Speaker until she brings Medicare for All to the floor for a vote, as Jimmy Dore has suggested, is contingent on whether voters pressure their representatives. It's on us. That's what I'm urging people to do. That's what Justin Jackson did. He pressured the progressive representatives in Congress. Marianne Williamson also on board. Marianne Williamson says, hugely important from Jimmy Dore. Watch this and spread it around. We need Speaker Pelosi to put the Representative Jay Appel Medicare for All bill up for a vote. And there's a way to make it happen. And this is the way to make it happen. She tweets out our video. Thank you to her. People are on board for this idea. Here's the Indivisible New York. Indivisible New York, the organization, said, watch, important idea from Jimmy Dore about forcing Speaker Pelosi to bring Medicare for All to a vote in the House soon. Get 15 Dems to commit to not vote for Pelosi as Speaker unless Representative Jay Appel's Medicare for All is given a vote in the House, and they tag AOC. So it's building. Oh, my God. Here's Rania Kalik also says, great push from Jimmy Dore laying out how progressives in Congress can force a vote on Medicare for All. Do they have the spine to do it? Here's Peter Joseph from the Zeitgeist film. He says, in a decaying society needing radical change, we all still have to be pragmatic to whatever degree possible. The United States should have had Medicare for All half a century ago. Jimmy Dore has an idea to help. Ryan Knight, former Elizabeth Warren supporter and now big, huge lefty. He says, I support Jimmy Dore's efforts to encourage progressives to withhold their vote for Speaker Pelosi unless she brings Medicare for All up to a floor vote. 70% of Americans now support Medicare for All, and it's long past time for Congress to legislate for the people. I just want to say about Susan Sarandon, we all know she's the kingmaker in America and she throws elections. So I'm just saying I wouldn't get on her bad side. Here's Cenk Uygur, co-founder of the Justice Democrats. Co-founder of the Justice Democrats, Cenk Uygur, said Jimmy is making a constructive effort to actually get a vote on Medicare for All and to unite progressives despite our differences. I love that. Even if you don't think this is a perfect way to do it, you have to agree we all have to push progressive legislators to get this introduced. 53% of Americans want Medicare for All, even after overwhelming propaganda by national media, Republicans, and Democratic leadership against it. 87% of Democrat voters want it, and Democrats won't even vote on it. Anyone who tells you Medicare for All is unpopular is an unmitigated liar. Here's popular Bernie delegate, former congressional candidate Brent Welder. He said, please join Jimmy Dore's effort to get an up or down vote on Medicare for All. So it was real. I'm telling you, it's building. Everybody seems to be on board for this. Even the other co-founder of the Justice Democrats today tweeted this out today. He says, if Medicare for All is going to lose in the current political climate, you either go down laying down or you go down fighting. If you fight for it, you get one, you get people on the record, we know who to primary, and two, it shifts the Overton window in your favor, like the Tea Party. Force the vote. It's a no-brainer. Co-founder of the Justice Democrats, both of them are on board. Isn't that amazing? The founders of the Justice Democrats publicly on board, Justice Democrats silent. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? I would say it's interesting at the very least. That's right. The establishment is crossing their fingers that the left will keep staying silent every time. They know very well how dangerous this is. If not fight now during an unprecedented crisis with millions in misery, when are you going to fight for Medicare for All? In the middle of a deadly pandemic? This is the wrong time. Here's one more from the co-founder of the Justice Democrats. He says, leftists arguing against having votes on our core issues are doing the establishment's work for them. That's what AOC is doing. She's doing the establishment's work for them right now. That's not me saying that. That's the co-founder of the Justice Democrats saying that. You're not doing some brilliant, high-minded strategy we don't understand. You're just weak, scared of the consequences and rationalizing. Again, that's not Jimmy Dore. One more. Secular Talk says, the time is always right to do what is right. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what's right, AOC. You know, we were the first ones to have AOC on the show. We were the first ones to have Cori Bush on our show. We're big supporters of progressives. We're just not supportive of progressives who don't say what they're going to do, who don't do what they say they're going to. I'm not, and it was obvious. AOC said she wasn't going to vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, and the first thing she did was vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker. So, you can use your identity politics, which people do all the time, to try to smear this show, smear me personally, bad faith attack us. A lot of people do that. Boy, that's all the K-Hive has, right? Is that bad faith attacks. The K-Hive, that they're the ones. I didn't know what that meant, K-Hive. I always thought that was a show on CNN, K-Hive. I swear to God. So when people say, oh, the K-Hive people are coming at me, I thought, oh, the people from CNN are coming at, that's what I thought. My friend was telling me the K-Hive people are, and I'm thinking, oh, it's that show on CNN. And I'm like, well, deal with it, And then I find out, no, that's what Kamala Harris supporters are called, K-Hive. I didn't know that. And they are maniacs. They are like a parody of themselves. Yeah. They are parodies of themselves. It is, honest, there's, I saw a video of a K-Hive person, and I just want to play it like unironically, like here, like it's already a comedy bit. Let's see. So it doesn't bring me any joy. I would much rather have AOC go, yes, we're going to do this. I would much rather have Pramila Jayapal say, yes, this is our opening. I would much rather have Ro Khanna and Bernie Sanders say, this is what we all have to do. Bernie Sanders won't even mention a name. He won't even suggest a name for someone to be in Bernie's cabinet. And you know why that's important? Because then that builds a news cycle of momentum for someone to get in in Biden's cabinet, and Bernie won't even do that. He won't do anything. Right now, Bernie is pushing for one $1,200 payment as if that's a solution. That's not even a solution. Do you know that Bernie's not even proposing fucking solutions anymore? He's fighting for something that is not even a half measure. Why wouldn't you fight for what we need? A $2,000 payment for the duration of the fucking pandemic. Why wouldn't you fight for that? And then you negotiate down. He's starting at a nothing level. We want $1,200. What a fucking cuck. He is worthless. Worthless. And AOC sounds like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, doesn't she? AOC sounds like Neera Tanden. Every bullshit fucking reason not to have Medicare for all. And the only reason is she won't fight for you. She's afraid of Mama Bear. They all protect each other. AOC didn't even fucking back progressives in the primaries. Cenk Uygur had to call her out for that shit. People still are going to be angry at me, though. People still are. People need a scapegoat. Someone with no money and no power. Let's get Jimmy Dore. But now it's not about me. This is about an idea. So this isn't about me at all. This is about an idea. This is about something they should be doing. And why the fuck was it that I had to think of it? I thought of it? You know they thought of it. They just weren't ever going to do it. They're like, well, we could do that. Shut up. You know, we could all hold our vote from Nancy Pelosi. Fuck you. What are you, nuts? And Rachel Maddow will make it out like I'm helping the Republicans. So I don't want to get on the wrong side of Rachel Maddow and her gigantic eyelashes. This is just an idea. This isn't, I don't own this idea. This is a tactical move that's been in the politics 101 playbook forever. Withhold your vote when you have leverage, and you have it. I'm just pointing out this idea. This has nothing to do with Jimmy Dore. A lot of people trying to make this about Jimmy Dore. So there you go. And everybody agrees this is a good idea. From the co-founders of the Justice Democrats, Kyle Kulinski and Cenk Uygur. It's weird, but the Justice Democrats aren't on board for this. Isn't that wild? Katie Porter, where are you, you Elizabeth Warren support? Where is Katie Porter? Every time I see Katie Porter, she's yelling about Republicans. Now is the time for Katie Porter to show that she's actually there to fight for you instead of grandstanding against Republicans. Now's the time for her to actually do something. Will she do it? If she does it, you know she's a fucking phony. The time is now. And you know who said that? AOC. Guess who said that?
What the Bronx and Queens needs is Medicare for All, tuition-free public college, a federal jobs guarantee, and criminal justice reform. We can do it now. It doesn't take 100 years to do this. It takes political courage.
That's all talk from her. That's all talk. Now I'm asking you to have courage and pressure her and call her out and stop defending her. I've been begging my fellow YouTube hosts to stop defending the squad since the CARES Act. And now they finally are. Some of them. Isn't that nice? It is. That's a big deal to use your influence on these people instead of using your position to defend politicians. Because I'm going to tell you, no matter what you think, they're not your friend. Politicians are fucking sociopaths, egomaniacs, and the most mediocre of people. They're not your friends. Okay? She's not your friend. She's an elected official. She's a fucking representative there to represent you. 70% of the people voted for her over Joe Crowley because she said she was going to fight for Medicare for All. We need it now, not in 100 years. That's why. And then she goes there and tries to find every reason not to do it. She talks about political courage and doing it now. Hey, you can do it. Well, I can't. We can't do it now. Well, there's two reasons. The first reason is because $15 minimum wage. Wait. Co-sponsors. I mean, co-sponsors. She outed herself.
In what you said earlier, too, I wanted to go back to what you said about our left party. We don't have a left party in the United States. The Democratic Party is not a left party. The Democratic Party is a center or center conservative party. We do not advocate for, we can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for All. Not even a floor vote that gets voted down. We can't even get a vote on it.
Oh, yes,
so this is not a left party. There are left members inside the Democratic Party that are working to try to make that shift happen. But you're right, it does convey a certain sentiment about true believers. And there are a lot of true believers in that we can capitalism our way out of poverty in the Democratic Party. If anything, that's probably the majority. Right. And that's an area in which I agree with Dr. King, that assessment is flawed.
Senate, and we organize to win back the presidency, and we do all of that on election day, and then we walk away, we're not going to get anything done. Nothing's going to happen. The Democratic Party does not do more unless it is pushed. So we need to push them. And they don't like it. I think I annoy them, but but that is our job. That's our job.
Now it's your job to make Nancy Pelosi uncomfortable, AOC. And now it's our job to make AOC uncomfortable. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.